Hello, hello, and welcome back. And welcome back. Yes, so we are playing more Starfield. Let's talk to the head of security.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Sugiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with?
What sort of trouble do you run into here?
Honestly, it's not as exciting as you might think most of the time. More often than not, we're just handling drunk and disorderly conduct. Heck, even pirates leave us alone for the most part. I think it's because some of them actually vacation here. As long as they're not bothering anyone, we've been told not to worry about them.
Is your security associated with the UC or the FC?
Neither. We're our own private force. The Paradiso group pays top dollar for top-notch security. And I dare say we're some of the best in the business. We have to be out here on the fringes of the settled systems.
I'm here about the distress call you sent.
Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so?
How bad could the punishment be if you're not under UC or FC jurisdiction?
You're right. We're not. Which means we're not bound by anyone's laws but our own.
That's true.
In other words, it's our system and our rules. Neither the UC nor the Freestar Collective will help you if you get into trouble here.
Well, after all, if you aren't a signatory of the Geneva Convention, you don't have to follow it. But if your enemy is, they do. Yeah, I agree. Just hurry up and tell me what it's about. Understood, I swear it.
Great. I appreciate it. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions.
What kind of ship is it? Any idea who it belongs to?
It bears no discernible markings or allegiances to any manufacturers we're aware of. I'm hoping that doesn't mean we're dealing with some sort of new deep space threat.
They didn't respond to communications?
Not quite. It took some time, but we received a transmission. It was all, pardon the phrasing, it sounded almost alien, like nothing anyone's heard before. Clicks, distorted groans, buzzing, really disturbing sounds. Now, one of our engineers says it could just be some busted comm equipment or incompatible signals, but we're not sure. So far, no one's disembarked from the ship, no landing craft, nothing. We don't have the staff or ships to spare, otherwise we'd dock with it and attempt to board.
Oh, what's that film? Horizon? Is it just called Horizon? No, it can't be.
Can't say for sure. Looks worn, but not cobbled together like a Crimson Fleet junker. Others have been saying it's some new Varun design, a gigantic battleship with hidden armaments preparing for assault, but that doesn't check out either. There's also been talk about non-human sentient life. The comms data we received might support that, but humanity's spread far and wide and no one's ever encountered anything like that. Still, first contact. Could you imagine?
Seems like a delicate situation.
It is. Whatever's going on, we need to approach this with care. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or what whatever's on board.
Is it?
As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have your pay. Good luck.
Is it a reference to Event Horizon? That's it. If you've never seen Event Horizon, it is maybe one of the greatest films ever. It's a very... It is not a film for the faint of heart.
How can I be of
But
service,
it is a
Captain?
great film.
I have something for you.
And they had to cut a lot of bits out of that film.
Liftoff looks good. All systems on. Stay in orbit or jump. Your call.
I mean, hell, one of the scenes that they cut was like, it involved a lot of people that didn't have limbs and a lot of fake blood. And what could loosely be described as an orgy. But that got cut out of the film, because apparently it was described as being so unwatchable by a normal person that they couldn't put it in the film because it would turn too many people away.
Airlock integrity looks good.
Good to see you.
You might want this. What's on your mind? Thought you'd never ask. Here, all yours.
Creature Joe.
Captain Douglas, hello. I am satisfied to see that you survived your most recent.
Stay alert. Weapons at the ready.
Remain calm. There's no reason to suspect whatever it is hostile.
I agree with the captain. Now is the time for diplomacy.
Agreed. But we must be ready for them. Now. Eyes and ears sharp.
He's got a 45.
You're human.
Wait, what are you?
Oh, we're human. From the planet Earth in the Sol system.
Oh my god, they were all frozen. They were in old school long system sleep. They were frozen. Or they jumped without a destination and ended up forward in time, potentially? Oh my god, I wonder what would happen if you had the alien spacesuit. Of course I'm human.
It's just that we weren't expecting to find life, let alone human life out here. We thought we were the only ones to leave Earth.
Welcome back to the rest of humanity. You're no longer alone. Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
What's this ship?
You've come aboard the Earth colony ship, Constant. Generations ago, we set forth from the planet Earth with the mission of colonizing a new habitable world, in the spirit of our ancestors nearly a millennium ago.
I'm here to help, but I think you're out of time.
I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others.
Your comms don't work. Why's that?
We're not entirely sure. Our engineers believe it's possible that our technology just isn't compatible with theirs. All we hear when using them to communicate with anyone is a bunch of disturbing noise. It gave me the heebie-jeebies at first.
How did you all survive for 200 years?
Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race, above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous.
So you know about the people on the surface?
We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans.
How did it take you so long to get here?
Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did.
I'd love to know more, but maybe we should get away from this airlock first.
Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. DaCosta, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am, for security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist. Welcome to the Earth colony ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic, and more. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction-level event to be within 50 years. He fully believed Earth was destined to be rendered uninhabitable. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time. If you can believe, entire generations have been born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
We've got strict rules around here. They're strict for a reason.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
So, here we are. Let's talk. We didn't believe anyone would be out here, but I'm glad for it.
How long have you been captain?
I think I'm coming up on 6 years now. I was only a teenager when my father died, passing command of the ship to me, as is tradition. Because of that, I've had to sort of learn as I go along instead of taking years of study and apprenticeship under the prior captain. I think some people on the ship resent me for not having the level of experience as my predecessors. But at the same time, without my command, we likely wouldn't have made it here so quickly.
How's your crew holding up?
A bit frazzled, as you can imagine. People are anxious about discovering that we're not alone, and also worried about what will come to pass. While we hope we can work out a deal with the people on the surface, they seem reluctant to reach out, so there's no telling what will come of that. I do know that we can't afford to stay here in orbit forever. The ship was built to sustain us for many years with backup provisions just in case, but even that will come to an end eventually.
Is it difficult being the captain of a colony ship?
Difficult is the wrong word. It can be both challenging at times and also exciting. Our mission was to rebuild humanity on a distant world, believing that we were Earth's last hope. To think that while there has always been a Brackenridge in the captain's chair, that I am the one to finally oversee our journey's end is truly exhilarating. But with this stumbling block in our path, at this final moment, I fear tough choices will need to be made.
Sounds like you use some help.
Well, as I mentioned, we've been unsuccessful in communications with anyone up until you arrived, though not for lack of trying. But since you're asking, maybe you'd be willing to be a sort of diplomat between us and them as we attempt to resolve our situation. Does that sound agreeable to you?
What's wrong with your comm system?
We suspect that our equipment is woefully obsolete compared to whatever you all have now. In all honesty, we never expected to need to communicate with anyone, so our comms aren't particularly robust. That limits our options. We even attempted communicating with lights and sounds, something we saw in an old movie, but I don't believe they picked up on it. If anything, it may have inadvertently alarmed them. Ah, so they have a name. Paradiso. And it sounds promising that they sent you here to speak with us. You see, we intended to settle here, but we assumed that they intend to defend their claim given their presence here. We'd like you to go speak to them on our behalf and help us negotiate a solution, preferably one that favors us.
Why not just find another planet?
Based on the data our ancestors had when they launched this endeavor, it was determined that this was the perfect planet for us. Even if we had another viable candidate planet, we lack the resources to get there. And as you know, it took us 200 years to get here. Our people have no desire to go back to drifting the stars so their children's children can possibly settle on an inferior planet.
Why this planet when Alpha Centauri exists? You've gone way further than anyone else. If you had claim to this planet, how could others settle here?
When we left Earth, there were no claims to planets this far out into space. We had assumed that we were the only ones attempting a generational journey such as this, meaning that there would be no need for a formal claims process. Regardless, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, did manage to file a charter for this planet's first colony, to be named New Jamestown. According to his records, no one took it seriously when he filed it, so likely it was either ignored or the records were lost to the ages. Given humanity's lack of interest in colonizing the far reaches of space at the time, it shouldn't have been a problem. But again, here we are now.
I'll try, but diplomacy may require compromise.
Yes, of course. But we need to start from a firm position and state our goal. If need be, we can compromise, work out a mutually beneficial deal or some such, but initially I'd like you to be firm with them and convince them to leave the planet to us. Let me know how they respond, and we'll go from there.
That is not gonna happen. Why not just settle the other side?
We thought about it, but it simply won't do. I need to think about the distant future of our people. Sure, our first settlement may be small, but our predecessors dreamt of our new civilization spreading across the globe. That will be difficult if someone else plans to do the same. While we're not completely close to the idea of sharing, it's much easier if we have complete domain over this world.
Are you out of your mind? There's no way they'll go for that.
I'm serious. We have a rightful claim to this land, and I intend to fight for it.
No, you
But
don't!
as you're currently our only hope, perhaps you'll honor my request and give it your all, for the sake of some very weary travelers who have come a very long way to be here. Thank you.
That ain't gonna happen, you dumb bin.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outsiders.
Fucking hell.
Now that we know what's out there, I wonder what else is out there.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little community.
Hey there.
These are exciting times.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before. Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers. Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
Fancy gun? It's an old ass shotgun.
We're free and clear for flight.
If need be, I can always take their ship out because it doesn't seem like it's got any weaponry. If they're like, absolutely not, we will not do whatever, I'll be like, well, I'm just going to shoot out the sky.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or got separated from their home planet or what, but they scavenge for things.
Between you and me, that ship is the most exciting thing that's happened here in ages. I'm sure whatever you work out, see you around.
You didn't hear this from me, but those ecliptic mercenaries, the factions use them sometimes.
Up to the executive floor.
It's like we just entered a brochure. I bet they'll bill us for walking through the door.
Excuse me, you can't just waltz in there. Do you have an appointment?
Do I really need one?
I'm afraid so, yes. Sorry, but that's just how it is with the board. They're generally very busy, so any outside parties need to book appointments in advance.
I kinda do. You have a problem with a ship in orbit, I'm here to help.
Oh, you're the one they're waiting for then. Do you need anything else from me before you meet with the board?
Can you tell me about the board members?
What I could tell you would get me in a lot of trouble. Most of them are typical C-level execs. I doubt you even need to use your imagination for that. The ones that show up to work day to day, at least. I swear, I've never even met some of them, because they chill at their own private, secluded beach homes all the time. Anyway, be smart around Oliver. He's got a way of getting what he wants without you realizing it. And that's all I'll say.
What's it like working on Paradiso?
I can't speak for anyone else, but I've got a pretty high-pressure job working as the executive assistant to the Paradiso board. You can imagine, dealing with a team of execs, trying to manage all of their schedules and their other whims. But it pays well, and they give me a nice executive suite at the hotel to live in. So, it's not all bad. Free access to all the resort's amenities after work helps too.
I'm ready to go in.
Sure. Have fun in the shark tank. And don't worry, even they call it that.
I just feel that we should be focusing on the natural beauty of this planet, not our amenities.
There are millions of planets out there. People can go to any one of them. The resort facilities are precisely what we bring to the table. Heck, it's the only thing we've really got to offer.
I don't want to risk us coming off as just another artificial, shady, trash-filled dump like Neon. That's not who we are. We've got something special here. We should embrace that.
Belom's right.
Thank you.
We don't want to compete with Neon. Bayou's ruthless. He'll do anything he can to eliminate the competition. We don't need that kind of trouble. That being said, I think there's a middle ground. Maybe build up the beachfront at a boardwalk amusement park. I've had this idea to build artificial hot springs, that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I'll look into what that will cost us and we can circle back around to this.
With a name like
bring it up with
Paradiso,
TV.
the marketing for this place writes itself.
You operate this outside the SS, don't you?
Not quite. We just don't answer to the Freestar Collective or the United Colonies. Makes things easier. We don't pay any taxes, we don't need to follow their laws. All the benefits, none of the drawbacks. And no one minds, because half the politicians and other big shots love vacationing here. Works for everyone.
What can you tell me about Paradiso?
We, the Paradiso Group, bought the rights to this planet years ago with the intent of turning it into the biggest and best resort in the universe. To that end, I'd say we've succeeded. As such, no other leisure enterprises may operate on the planet without renting land from us. But as you can see, none can afford such a deal.
Who'd they buy the rights from? There really only 3 board members?
No, of course not. There's several more. We're just the ones who show up day to day. The others spend their time lazing on the beach or gallivanting off-world. Doesn't bother me, though. Less cooks in the kitchen means I get to make all the big decisions around here. Seems to be working out for us just fine.
I understand you're the man to talk about the strange ship.
I am. And you must be the diplomat Jiro told me about. Welcome, welcome. Normally I'd offer you an all-inclusive stay at our resort before we spoke. But given the circumstances, I'm gonna cut to the chase. We've got our friends, the aliens, up there, causing all sorts of problems for our resort. You like that? The marketing team came up with it. The thought is, if we can't get rid of them, it might actually attract more tourism. Come see the aliens!
Why is this problem so urgent to you?
We run a premier resort getaway here. We can't have our guests concocting stories about some bodgy old ship hanging around up there. As it is, we've had to reroute our luxury liners round the other side of the planet on entry so no one sees it. It's bad for business. We need to nip this in the bud and take care of it before the tourists catch on and cause a scene.
Let's just get to the matter at hand.
Ah, we're being direct then. Good on you. So, what do you know about this dodgy ship I'm hearing all about?
What would you say if I told you that it was really an alien mothership to destroy the planet?
I'd say you're full of it and might have been watching too many movies. Now, instead of wasting my time, want to tell me what it really is?
It's a generation ship full of colonists from Earth, here after a 200-year journey.
Well, that's something. Shame we can't just tell them kindly to bugger off. Something tells me that's not going to work. Now, tell me, what are we going to do about it? Give me some proposals, people. I need something to work with here.
We could offer to resettle them here. There's more than enough space.
They could stay here. Temporarily. But it'll cost them. Quite a bit, too. They'd need to work off all their debts before being allowed to leave.
Maybe not. What if we help them get out of here? Outfit their ship with a grav drive so they can find a new home. We could even lend our engineers to help and give their captain an updated star map. What do you think?
Sounds costly. We can't absorb that cost, and it's unlikely they even have compatible currency, let alone enough for the transaction. Someone else would have to foot the bill.
Oh, I swear this would be a lot easier if they ceased to exist entirely. Anyway, Seema's got the right idea. Either works for me. Just tell me what you want to do.
Why can't they settle on the other side of the planet or something?
We own this planet, they don't. Here at Paradiso, we don't like leaving things to chance. Who knows what these people will do with their land? Imagine the landscaping disasters they may come up with, and how that might mar the satellite imagery of the planet in our brochures. No, much better to assimilate them into our culture if they come here to live, rather than leave it to chance.
I understand your point of view from a business stance, but I disagree.
And that's within your right. But as the CEO of Paradiso Group, I'm the one who has to make and approve decisions around here, not you. So, as much as I appreciate your feedback, it's not in the best interest of the Paradiso Group to take it into account.
That's alright. Why can't we just let other authorities handle this?
We operate outside of the Free Stars and the UC, partially because we don't want anyone else meddling in our affairs. And we'd rather not draw attention to it. As I've mentioned, it could be bad for business. We'd much rather settle this independently.
Cease to exist. Are you suggesting I destroy the ship?
I'm not suggesting anything, other than it would make our lives so much easier if that ship ceased existing. Make of that what you will.
Wait, why do I have to buy the grav drive?
It's not our responsibility to bear the brunt of that cost. We're being more than generous by offering the use of our engineering team to help install it. A custom grav drive can't come cheap, and I assume they have neither the monetary means nor the connections to get a hold of that kind of technology. That leaves the only other party in this negotiation. You.
So they can't live here. So they can live here, but they'd be indentured servants.
Oh, I didn't say that specifically. This would be a mutual contract for room and board in exchange for services rendered. Of course, there's no telling how long this arrangement will last, given the substantial costs we'd need to take on in order to accommodate them here, including their continued room and board. But this may save the resort on operating costs in the long term, as we'd be able to let go of some of our current paid staff.
I think I've made up my mind.
And which proposal will you be taking to the good captain? I assume there's a captain?
What happens if they continue to consist their claim on the planet?
They'd be hard-pressed to defend their claim in any courts. Our charter goes back years. It was registered with both the UC and Free Star Collective, per the Centaurus Proclamation. We may be outside the settled systems, but that charter's official as can be. I'm sorry, but you're going to need to be the one to break the news to them that they need to make a compromise or leave.
What could make a ship like that go away, hypothetically?
I have no idea, because I'm not suggesting anything of the sort. But it's a wonder that old ship made it all the way here in such a relatively short time. Must have really been pushing themselves. An engineer friend of mine told me once that the reactors on those old ships have a tendency to self-destruct if they overload. Of course, their engineers must have taken great care not to push it too far. Someone would likely have to override the safety systems in the reactor computer. But who would do such a thing?
You better be asking for your next magic show and not for any stupid reasons.
I'll buy a grav drive and convince them to settle somewhere else.
Ah, good on you. You want to see a man named Benny St. James over at Hope Tech. He's the best in the business. If anyone can retrofit a 200-year-old ship with a modern grav drive, it'd be him. We'll coordinate our engineering team with his when you return, though you may have to help the Constant engineers prepare for it on their end. Good luck.
There are so many hospitable planets out there. More than enough for everybody. And the best part is, nobody has to die or become indebted or anything. An elegant solution.
Right. On behalf of the Paradiso Group, we appreciate your help.
Hope you're staying safe out there.
Hey, hope you're enjoying yourself.
Captain Douglas, greetings.
Heidi, what's the plan, Captain?
Captain Douglas, do you require my assistance?
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
Just stay out of trouble.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
There's so much more to learn about.
And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
Oh. Wow, you're new? Weird. Okay, wasn't expecting this. I guess I should introduce myself? I'm Janet. What's up? You?
I'm Douglas. Just want to introduce myself to everyone.
Oh, well, nice to meet you, I guess. I could take a break to chat if you want.
What's it like living on a colony ship?
Oh my god, it's terrible. I don't know how my parents did it, knowing they would never, ever get to leave until they died. Every day, you see exactly the same things. The same people do the same job. It's all the same. All the time. Seriously, the only thing that kept me going was knowing that we were the generation who knew we'd finally get the hell out of here. Although now that we're here, nothing seems to be happening. Sometimes I wonder if my sister was the lucky one.
Your sister? I don't think I've met her.
Well, one of them. I do have a sister on board, Julia, but I'm not talking about her. Julia and I were actually triplets with our sister Jen, but the ship ran out of one of her medications and she didn't make it. Sucks, but it is what it is. We only have so many supplies. We couldn't exactly get anything new along the way. Anyway, it happened a long time ago. I don't really feel that she's lucky. I'm just frustrated.
What do you do here?
Certainly not what I want to do.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, I hate this job, and there's really nothing I can do about it. I'm the cultivation manager. Fancy words for farmer and fertilizer collector. I didn't have a choice. Most people don't. You get a job, and that's it. Like, I'm great at what I do, but I would enjoy doing literally anything else. Meanwhile, my sister Julia, she gets to hang out with kids all day and watch movies. The kids I couldn't care less about, but she doesn't even care about Earth culture. Ugh. Later.
Hey.
This is a garden built to sustain the maximum amount of people possible. It's a monument to life.
Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Wow. Hi.
Sometimes, difficult choices must be made. We did what we believed we needed to do to keep humanity alive on this ship. Wait, how is it I don't know you? I know everyone on this ship.
I'm a visitor from outside the ship.
Oh my. Yes, of course. Sorry, I was with a difficult patient when the announcement came through. But now I remember. They sent my husband, Mabuti, to greet you. It's quite fortunate that you arrived when you did, for Mabuti's sake. Hopefully you can help resolve our current predicament.
I can tell you one thing. She said we had to make difficult decisions. I guarantee there are no autistic people on this ship. Or anyone with HIV. There are probably gay people though. Because that's the thing, gay people can still procreate. They just don't have to love the other person. Didn't seem like anything was wrong with him.
There isn't. At least not in the medical sense. Since he was one of the eldest on board, he was ready to volunteer for termination. Thankfully, since you've arrived, that no longer seems necessary.
Does that mean what I think it means?
Yeah, they kill old people.
It means that he was going to volunteer his own life for the sake of the others on this ship, due to limited spaces and supplies. Like the others, his life would then be honored with special distinction and recorded for history. Rarely we had to make difficult choices when no one would volunteer. But Mabuti, he's too generous to let that happen.
Oh my god, I think actually it might be worth just blowing the fucking ship out of the sky.
I certainly hope so too. It shouldn't.
I hope nobody needs to volunteer for such an honor ever again.
Don't worry, they'll get to a fucking planet and they'll start doing it and it'll be like, Jesus Christ, we should just kill you all.
Depends on the question, but I'll give it my best shot.
Wait, why is it now talking with Barrett?
Okay.
I've never treated anyone from outside our ship. But if you need help, I'm here for you.
I guess you're the chief medical officer.
Indeed. There aren't many doctors on board. In addition to regular checkups, I perform surgeries, obstetrics, and other medical procedures. I also help train the next generation of doctors. After all, someone must. It's demanding work.
What happens if population grows too much?
We try our best to avoid that through careful family planning. Rarely we run into situations where things do not go according to plan. And then we must adjust and make difficult decisions concerning our community and resources. We never do anything without careful consideration. But at the end of the day, we need to do what is best for the ship, so as not to put everyone in jeopardy.
What was wrong with Mutabi?
Nothing. Not in the medical sense. As one of the eldest on board, he was ready to volunteer for termination. But thanks to your arrival, that is no longer needed.
Does that mean what I think it means?
It means that, like the others, rarely we have...
How barbaric. I can't believe there's no other way.
It may seem that way to you, but remember, things are different when you only have so many resources and so much room to work with for such a long time.
There are other ways, but this is the path they've settled on and reinforced systemically. Humans have had to make terrible choices for the good of society forever, but often the weakest have paid more than their share. Alrighty.
I don't have much to spare, but if you are ever injured, I will try my best to help. Yes, but please, be mindful. I don't have many extra supplies.
So you'd think they'd have a lot of older medicine still.
Take care of yourself out there.
And she didn't have any credits at all. So she can't buy stuff.
Wow. I've heard about you, but... here you are.
This is where they keep the dead.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
I'm guessing they cremate their dead? But that doesn't make sense. Why would you cremate your dead?
Aren't there any animals here? Oh. Well, there wasn't enough room on board when our ancestors left Earth. We only have for people. What about the new don't know.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little...
Now that we know what's out there, the Constant is a piece of shit.
Captain Brackenridge says the future isn't bright, but I think the Constant's pretty bright too, so I don't really know.
Oh my god, they are. They're Apple ones or whatever.
I'm glad you're not an alien, but that would have been so cool.
I'm happy for the children, that they will know we are not alone out here.
Miss Yang said we're experiencing history right now, and that there'll be books written about us. I'm gonna be in a book!
You're experiencing history every
Given that I
second.
don't know you,
Because
you must
everything
be this
becomes
visitor
history
I've been
immediately
hearing
after it's
so
set.
much about. I'm Julia, the Constant's chief historian. It's nice to meet you on this momentous occasion.
I heard all you do is hang out with kids and watch movies. Is that so?
You must have been speaking with my sister. There's more to it than that. Officially, I'm assigned to the role of chief historian. Generations ago, it used to be lawkeeper of humanity, but that seemed a bit too lofty. While I don't think my job is as important as captain, engineering officer, or cultivation manager, it's still vital to our mission.
Do you enjoy what you do?
I do. But sometimes it's frustrating to convince some people that my job is important, since it's not directly related to our continued survival. There was a time where I thought my sister was the lucky one, running the hydroponics farm and being responsible for feeding everyone on board. But I grew to like my work, and working with children is nice. especially since I'll never have any of my own.
Sorry if this is too personal, but why can't you have children?
It's okay. I don't mind you asking. I'm actually proud of my choice. It's a great honor to give up one's ability to have a family so that others may. As you can imagine, a population limit is a necessity on board a colony ship. I made my choice long ago to give others the chance to have a larger family should they wish. Though, I suppose I don't need to worry about that now. Maybe it's time to consider it.
You were assigned?
Of course. Everyone was assigned their roles here. We don't choose our roles, since there are only so many of us, and every job is critical. Someone has to prove themselves either exceptionally bad at their job, or exceptionally good at another, in order to be moved. But that rarely happens.
Can you tell me a bit more of your duties as Chief Historian?
I run the educational programs aboard the ship for all the children and any adults who are looking to learn about Earth history. We try to have group sessions some evenings where we read old Earth literature, watch old films, listen to music, and the like. So yes, I hang out with children and watch movies, but it's more involved than that. We historians are charged with keeping Earth culture alive, so that we never forget where we came from.
Sounds like important work. You know where they'd fit in really well? Homestead.
Thanks for saying so.
I wonder if I can suggest that. What can you tell me about the Constant?
As Chief Historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know?
Why is the ship called the ECS, Constant?
ECS stands for Earth Colony Ship. We wanted a fairly inclusive name to represent the planet, and not a particular nation of origin. There was an old colony ship that sailed across the oceans of Earth from a country called England to settle on a new continent. It was called either the Susan or Sarah Constant. No one seems to know for sure. So ours was shortened to just Constant. Ironically enough, that ship also reached what they thought was new land, and found it populated when they arrived. As Chief Historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know?
How long have you been traveling?
Well, we launched Tuesday, September 27th, 2140. So, about 190 years now. Would have been longer, but it turns out we have an ace navigator who saved us some time with some tricky maneuvers.
Who were the original crew of Constant?
We're the descendants of wealthy elites, intellectuals, artists, scientists, and others who left Earth in 2040 to spread humanity to the stars. The thinking was that Earth's days were numbered for a variety of reasons. Our finder, Rupert Brackenridge, had the foresight to plan for the worst. Thus, he constructed this colony ship to settle what seemed like the most habitable planet we could find, knowing full well it would take generations to reach. We suspected that we may have been the only ones to leave Earth, given that no one else seemed to have the same idea. I'm glad we appear to be wrong.
It's okay, I think I have enough now.
You know where to find me if you ever want to know more.
Goodbye.
Another time, then?
I wonder how many other planets are out there that we can live on. I bet there's a million.
Hey there.
I wonder what else is out there.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
People always appreciate a good engineer, whether they know it or not. I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome! I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster than light travel and eclipse our poor old ship?
We have tech called grav drives. It allows ships to bend space.
I knew it. It's incredible! I read about this technology in our archives from Earth, but it was only theoretical back then. Amazing! I'll have to learn more. Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And, I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today.
I'm Douglas. There's something else I need to talk to you about, Amin.
Yes, of course. Anything for my new friend.
If your predecessors knew about grav drives, why didn't they wait for an instance of... wait for it instead of setting out?
Ah, great question. I do not know for sure, but I can venture a guess. All of the reading I've done on the matter suggests that at the time, there was uncertainty that the technology would ever work, or if it did, that it would work at the scale we needed. So, I trust they made the decision to strike out when they did, fully believing it was the only way.
What do you do as chief engineer?
Some may say I'm a master of keeping things together with nothing but duct tape and bubblegum. Well, if we had any gum left. Pretty sure that ran out 100 years ago. When I'm not dealing with catastrophic engine failures, I manage the other engineers. We maintain all the machinery, computers, you name it. We keep the life support on, and the ship flying.
Not gonna lie, sounds like he owns a Land Rover.
Many years ago, when I was a junior engineer, the reactor's computer burned out. The computer that controls the reactor's various regulators. I'll spare you the details, but when that happens, the ship and everyone on it is in danger of turning into a mess of hot slag. I had to jury-rig parts from old media devices to prevent a meltdown. And that's how I became the boss around here.
You said you had more questions for me.
Yes! So many! Does everyone have their own spaceships like you? Do people only live on naturally habitable planets, or did they learn to terraform? Are we in contact with alien species? I have so many more, but I don't want to take up all your time.
No sentient life as far as we can tell, but plenty of diverse living creatures.
Disappointing, but not unexpected. When you showed up, I tried to tell the others about the Fermi paradox. I suggested that the most likely explanation for you was that humanity had developed faster, more advanced technology and had leapfrogged us. Seems I was right.
No terraforming, but there are colonies on its inhospitable planets. We just use hab units and suits.
I'm not surprised. The amount of energy it would take to terraform an entire planet seems improbable. I can assume these types of colonies are strictly for mining and gathering rare resources, since there are nearly limitless habitable planets to choose from out there.
Well, not everyone has ships, but many people do.
Haha! I knew it! Incredible! Amazing! Simply amazing! In our ancestors' time, only the very wealthy could afford to build ships. Even this ship was only possible by our families pulling together nearly all of their financial resources.
That's all I have time for now.
Ah, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I can have a bit of a big personality, I'm told. So let me know if I ever get on your nerves. Good luck out there!
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
down to residential in a bit.
We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason.
Now that you're here, I can finally give my crew a chance at a new life.
Taking some remarkable discipline to get you all here.
A hockey stick.
Never seen a ship like yours before. And then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived.
It's like we're walking in a time capsule here. I cannot imagine how hard this was to maintain.
I know Captain Brackenridge has essentially given you free rein to wander the ship, but security will still be watching you closely. I hope you understand, given we have so little experience with people from the outside. It pays to take security seriously, something I understand much better now than in my youth.
Makes sense.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
No matter the outcome, I won't let... Safe travels to you.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but I knew it was coming. I needed to hear it anyway. Thank you.
So many lives, from birth to death, spent on this ship. The lengths humans will go to is astounding.
As I always tell my patients, worry not, for tomorrow may bring happy surprises.
Your wife said you volunteered for termination. Why?
Yes, our daughter is now pregnant with our second child, and the constant is at capacity. It is the duty of the old to make way for the young. It is how we have survived. There is a small chance that if we cannot resolve this issue with the settlement below in time, I may need to follow through and do what is right for all of us. I doubt it will come to that, because you have brought us hope. But nothing is guaranteed. I am at peace with that, as my parents were before me. Lorelei is, of course, not pleased. She can be a little stubborn. But, as she is also the one to carry out the procedure, it is understandable.
You seem very kind and generous. I'm glad your sacrifice is no longer necessary.
Thank you. It's the way I was raised to be. I make sacrifices so that others may live on. For example, there was an elderly couple on board. They had no children, and their family name was to die with them. I convinced Lorelei that we should take it on. My brother will continue our family legacy, but I will carry on the DeCostas.
What's it like living here all these years?
Life on a colony ship has its ups and downs, as you can probably imagine. I tend to look on the bright side of things, however. To the best of our knowledge, we were on a critical mission, saving the human race from extinction. That notion was always with us, and it instilled a sense of pride and duty. Sure, the living quarters could be considered cramped, and we could go nowhere else. But we also had near endless time with friends and loved ones. I suppose as I get on in years, I have learned to appreciate that more than anything.
Why were you one of the ones to come visit when I first arrived?
I know it must seem strange to you. I am not a captain, nor am I a security guard. But I was brought along for a very specific reason. The captain trusts me to de-escalate situations. Pardon me saying, but we did not know who you were or what your intents were. So, Captain Breckenridge wanted me to come along as a friendly face and keep the conversation amicable. I am glad that you were peaceful, and my role was as limited as it was. Thank you.
What do you do here?
I'm a doctor and a counselor. I assist my wife Lorelei in performing minor medical duties, but I also practice psychology and help maintain our crew's mental health. It was good talking with you.
That explains why he's so sort of like kind.
And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
So much more to learn about now.
I've lived my entire life in the
So many lives, from birth to death, spent on this ship. The lengths humans will go to.
To listen and not judge. You know where to find me.
Hey, Captain. Well, that's all I have too.
Oh, hi! Hello! You're the alien. The person that came from out there. In space. That we weren't expecting at all. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Can we start this over?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I will be. It's just my nerves acting up. This has just gotten everyone so stressed, and since I'm here to help people deal with problems like that, well, it piles on me. Abe, I'm scared. Abe, what if we can't get down to the surface? Abe, what are we gonna do? And so on and so forth. I've never had to deal with so much anxiety before, and I'm a pretty anxious guy to begin with. Just ask my husband.
It's okay, let's just move on.
Yeah. Calming down. Here we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm Abe. Levitz. Abe Levitz. I'm the cabin manager here, so if there's anything you need during your stay, I'm happy to accommodate.
Thanks, I'll keep it in mind.
Please do, even if you just want to schmooze.
I don't recognize some of the words you're using.
Oh? Oh, you must mean the Yiddish. It's an old family tradition. The Levitts have been trying to keep it alive for hundreds of years now.
Oh, he's Jewish.
See, we didn't think the language would survive if we didn't, so we charged ourselves with preserving it. It's a point of pride for our family, and something I'd like to pass on to others so they don't forget. Like my great-great-great-great-grandmother's latke recipe.
Interesting. Can you tell me more about yourself?
Me? Hey, well, there's not much to say. I take care of people here. I live with my husband, Daisuke, no kids. We passed on having a surrogate so others could have larger families. Instead, I get to spend time with everyone in their families here. They call me their bubby because I'm like the grandmother they never had. I may have had something to do with that nickname.
Once you make that decision.
What do you do as a cabin manager?
Ah, glad you asked. I coordinate cabin maintenance, plan activities, even help settle domestic disputes. It's a demanding job, but in short, I'm here to keep people happy. I try to keep both the kids and adults entertained. Scavenger hunts, sing-alongs, fun little art projects, you name it. We also have regular media nights where a historian, Julia Yang, screens old movies, plays music, and exposes us to other Earth media.
Did people really think I was some sort of alien?
People didn't know what to think. Here we are, minding our own business out in deep space, all alone. Then we hear some sort of garbled transmissions on the radio. Real screechy, real inhuman sounding stuff. Then you show up? People had all sorts of fakakta theories. Aliens, time travelers, you name it. We watch a lot of old movies, so... Anyway, it spooked the bejesus out of us, because we were expecting to find nobody. Don't be a stranger now. Oh, I've always wanted to say that.
Careful waving that fancy gun around. You don't need to see what it can do.
Wow. Hi.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason. Now that we know what's out there, things are gonna be more interesting from here on out.
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
Hey.
Sure is nice to know there are other people around.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you. I've lived my entire
These
life
are
in the
exciting
constant.
times.
I'm not sure how else to live.
Wow. Hi.
Perhaps there will be opportunities for me to see what wonders you
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Hey there.
Keeping track of all our supplies is more difficult than you might think. Hi there. Oh!
I'm probably the first outsider you've met.
Nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us.
It's perfectly understandable.
Right? We've been cooped up together in this ship all our lives. So outside of births, there's literally no way for new people to arrive, you know? Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk.
How'd you get supplies if you've never contacted with anyone?
We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled. Even the food. In a roundabout way, if you know what I mean. It works out for the most part, because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here.
So is this some sort of shop?
Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out. See you around.
Okay, interesting.
Sure is nice to know there are other people.
Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
There's not nearly enough people on that ship for it to be a generation ship. For that to work, I think the minimum you would need is 60 people for, I think, 3 generations. Sounds about right.
I don't want to hear any complaints.
Oh.
Oh, this is going to be fast.
What the fuck?
We'll do this again soon, right? Hope Tech is the everyday working person's ship.
Wait, but she's security.
Keep an eye on your valuables. If you can't protect your own, you don't belong here.
Brown Hope was a tough negotiator. Might be easier to get a discount now.
We'd be dust except for the factory.
No, that wouldn't work. The O2 needs enough capacity for the whole ship. Oh, hello. I'm not used to people wanting to talk to me.
What ships have you worked on?
Well, all of them. I've been with Mr. Hope since near the beginning. I think he appreciates my attention to detail and my focus on the fundamentals. Although he has been hinting that the R&D budget may dry up if I don't produce results.
This is something that I think Bethesda should work on, using past tense and current tense more in their dialogue choices. What's it like being an engineer here?
Oh, it's marvelous. Generally, they only care about efficiency, cost effectiveness, and reliability. Oh, sure, there are the odd complaints about comfort and lack of decent airflow, but they almost always side with the numbers.
I hear you're an expert with the grav drive and other ship parts. I need to ask for a favor.
Sure, that sounds like me. What can I do for you? I'm a little busy, but I think I could spare some time.
Oliver Campbell sent me. I'm here about a grav drive for an old colony ship.
Oh, you should have just said that. Of course I can help you. Oliver sent a courier ahead of you. I did some research on ships from that era, and I have a decent idea what we're dealing with. So grav drives didn't really take off until after the ship was built. But I've got access to an ancient grav drive that looks like it could be compatible. With some minor adjustments. It's in good shape, too. Parts not cheap, though. Neither is the labor. Just pay the combined cost of parts and labor, and it's yours.
Sure.
You're darn right it is. I'll get to work on it right away. I recommend you go back to the ship and ask the captain to prepare for its retrofit. Standard stuff. I'm sure they have an engineer on board to help. We'll send the part along when it's ready and install it with the help of Oliver's people. Pleasure working with you.
You might think that was a lot of money. It it wasn't. See, not even half of what I have.
Offloaders. Nothing good ever comes.
Hey, Doc, we got a problem with one of the ships on the line.
Oh? What is it?
We ran out of tools.
Don't scream for these.
The boss lady wants to know if we have to start from scratch.
I don't see why. As long as the outside stays the same, it will have the same atmospheric behavior. And thrust is all that matters once you're in hard vacuum. Just strap some extra plating on it and that should do it.
Thanks, Doc.
Just keep it holstered and we'll get along fine.
Seems like Hopetown sprang up out of nowhere. But it is really hopping, isn't
It's a
it?
tough town, but these are good people. Sure, we get the occasional bar fight, but it's... Bye.
Hi. Please disregard.
Ah, hello, ship.
Docking cycle complete.
Hello.
Just
Keeping a 200-year-old ship running is no easy task. I can't tell you how many times I've had to make do with inelegant solutions to complex technical problems.
I was supposed to help you prep your ship for a grav drive.
What grav drive? Just joking with you. The Paradiso engineers filled me in. Okay, let's see what we need to do. All right. This will be fun. And hopefully there will be no explosions in the process. I have just received word that the drive is here. Ready to get to work?
You need my help?
Yes, of course I need your help. My team needs to stay on top of their daily maintenance, and I need to make my own preparations for this gravity drive you brought us. Your help is going to be vital to this procedure. And have no worries, it'll be easy. I'll guide you through the process.
Sorry, did you say something about explosions?
Oh, don't worry about that. Just a little engineering humor. We've kept this ship going with minimal incidents this long. I'm not about to let anything happen to it now. But, to be clear, what we're doing is very dangerous, and we should be prepared for anything.
Ready as can be.
Great, great, great! There are 3 preparations I need you to help me make while I set things up on my end. First thing I need you to do is reroute the power from the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator. Then, turn the plasma runoff inhibitor function to 5%. Last, you'll need to decouple the magnetic flange pipe enclosures from the auxiliary module assembly. Got it? Let's hop to it!
I wonder what it's like out there, people.
Oh shit, what did he... I've immediately forgot what he said. Route power to the port turbo pump. From the port turbo pump to the auxiliary cryogenic radiator.
Little community.
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
Turn the plasma runoff inhibitor to 5%.
There's so much. More to learn about now.
Decouple magnetic flange pipe from the auxiliary module assembly.
If the other colonists knew how many times the Constant almost came apart at the seams... Whew! Well, thankfully I never let it. Something wrong? Let's get to it then. So long!
Greetings, Captain.
Well, clearly it didn't go well. I must have fucked up somewhere.
The Constant is a peaceful ship.
Keeping at 200? What grab drive? I've just received... Yes, your help is going... Oh, we've kept... But... Great. First thing I... Then... Last. Got it?
Okay. So, route power to the port turbo pump. From the port turbo pump. To auxiliary cryogenic radiator.
I wonder what else is out there.
Turn the plasma runoff inhibitor to 5%.
Hi.
And then decouple magnetic flange from the auxiliary module. Oh, what? Oh, decouple magnetic flange pipe enclosures. Decouple from the aux. Yay.
Looks like everything is good to go on both your end and mine. Can you go inform the captain while they're finishing the installation? Thanks.
Never seen a ship like yours before.
Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting.
Piloting the old Constant has been fun. I'm looking forward to flying some fancy new ships. When this is all over. Hey! So it is true. An actual stranger aboard our ship? Wow.
You don't get many visitors to take it.
We don't get any. We never expected to meet anyone else traveling the stars. But if you're here, that must mean there are others. Kind of incredible that we never bumped into anyone. Either we took a strange route, or the vastness of space just makes chance encounters unlikely. Maybe some combination of the two. Either way, I'm so relieved to find out that we're not alone out here.
I've done this. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, jeez. Sorry, of course you don't know my name. We never met. I'm Yue. Wow, I never thought this would happen.
Good meeting you, Yue. I'll let you get back to what you're doing.
Sure. Well, unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
What do you think now that you know there are others out there?
It's incredible. I'm pretty excited to meet new people and ask them all sorts of questions. I wonder about all we've missed this whole time while humanity has advanced around us.
What do you do on the ship?
Oh, I'm the navigation officer, though I switch between nav and piloting. I'll be honest, the ship pretty much flies itself. Its destination hasn't changed since it launched, and we're here now, so I'm not sure what's next.
The ship flies itself. Why does it need a navigator?
See, the nav system's not perfect. We encounter stuff that our forebears didn't originally count on. Astral bodies, space debris, stuff like that. So sometimes I need to take manual control and get out of tricky situations. Then there was the time I used those unaccounted for anomalies to our advantage. Slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be there, saved some fuel and knocked a few decades off our journey. Pretty incredible stuff.
Cool.
Take care of yourself out there, eh?
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
We didn't believe anyone would be out here, but I'm glad for it.
Grav drive's installed. You should all be set now.
Well, well, it would appear we have the means to go nearly anywhere now, thanks to you.
The engineers even upgraded our communications equipment so we can speak with passing ships. Turns out it was a pretty easy fix. Thank you again for all you've done.
Where will you go now?
We don't yet know, but we did receive a star map from the Paradiso engineers. I suppose we'll just chart a course for other suitable habitable worlds until we find one that matches the quality of Paradiso. Purima 2 here.
No problem at all. I'm glad it all worked out.
Without you, we'd most likely be stuck. But you went above and beyond. I'll make sure people tell tales of your generosity for as long as our society lives. I don't know if we can ever fully repay you. Thank you again.
Ooh, I got me a gun.
You're lucky we're under orders not to escort you right off this ship.
Now that we know there are other people out there,
our people never expected to meet with other colonies, so forgive them if they are distrustful.
Did you not always take security so seriously?
It may surprise you to learn that I didn't. See, in my teenage years, I was quite rebellious. I stole a keycard and used it to get into the reactor. My shenanigans almost led to a total reactor meltdown. Normally, the punishment for such an act would be ejection from the ship. But my parents pleaded with Diana's father, the captain at the time, for leniency. He agreed. After I served time in the brig, he assigned me a job with the security team. I took the lesson to heart and have been taking my job seriously ever since.
It's great that they reformed you.
Agreed. If not for that incident, who knows how it would have ended for me otherwise. Crew management is certainly a tricky endeavor, and it takes a skilled captain to know how to deal with difficult decisions like that. I will always be grateful for how it was handled.
What's it like running security on a colony ship?
I don't have much basis for comparison. People tend to stay in line, but when they don't, I imagine it can be more challenging than out there. We only have a small brig. So in the few cases where there was widespread disorder, we needed to improvise. I'm told that has only happened once in our entire history. There was a brief revolt under Captain Brackenridge II when he amended the rationing laws. Prisoners were confined to their quarters. After the trial, the leader of the mutiny was exiled to space. We take security threats very seriously, for obvious reasons.
What were people thinking when I boarded the ship?
We had time to prepare ourselves since we arrived in orbit around this planet. We knew there was life, and the predominant theory was that it was human life. When you approached, we needed to be careful. Both because you presented a potential threat, but also potential salvation. Plans were in place to deal with both scenarios, and luckily, cooler heads prevailed.
Cool.
Be safe.
I'm worried about Janet. I wonder if someone from the outside can help her.
Hey! Maybe you could help out, Abe. He's been talking about needing someone with a ship.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
Think, all this time we thought we were alone.
just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
Do you? Let me carry that. A good team works together. Mm-hmm.
Well, look who it is. The one who helped us out of our situation, leaving us to roam the galaxy forever. Sorry, I don't mean to be ungrateful or rude. I know it's not your fault. You were just trying to help. It's me. I'm just frustrated.
What's it like living on a colony ship?
Still pretty terrible, even though we're now supposedly on our way to our new home. I'm still stuck here with the same people and the same job, day in and day out. Only now, we occasionally see other space travelers. I was really hoping we could finally settle somewhere, because then at least I could hitch a ride out of wherever we landed. Sometimes I wonder if my sister was the lucky one.
You mean Julia?
Ah, so you've met her. No, not Julia. Julia and I were actually triplets with our sister Jen, but the ship ran out of one of her medications and she didn't make it. Sucks, but it is what it is. We only have so many supplies, we couldn't exactly get anything new along the way. Anyway, it happened a long time ago. I don't really feel that she's lucky. I'm just frustrated.
Don't seem very happy with your life on the ECS.
Is it that obvious? Breckenridge is intent on finding a home just as perfect as Paradiso, and it's clear that's never going to happen. I'd love to leave. But outside of you and the occasional passing trade ships we make contact with, there aren't any ways off this ship. And besides, Breckenridge forbids it. I've tried. She insists we stay together for the sake of the community. I'm stuck here.
Is it really so bad on the ship?
Oh my god, yes! It's all I've ever known. But I feel a deep need to get out of here. I can't explain it. Maybe it was all those movies I saw as a kid. Green meadows, beaches, lush forests, mountains. I've always wanted to experience these things. And we were so close to it, damn it! I could almost feel it. So yeah, I'm done with this place.
I wonder if I can convince the captain to let you leave.
It's a long shot. You've dealt with her. You know she can be stubborn. But then again, you did make her see reason before and set us on this path. Maybe you can do it again and fix this mess. Sorry, I know it may not sound like it, but I'd actually be really grateful to you if you succeed.
The captain seems like a reasonable person. I'm sure we can get her to see eye to eye and convince her to let you go.
Oh! Ah! Hello there.
Sounds like you need help.
Oh, you heard? I was just kvetching to myself. Mostly I just need to find someone with a ship, but hey, you're someone with a ship, aren't you?
I am. Just tell me what you need.
I'll save you the spiel, but ever since we found out that people exist out there, the crew's been asking me if we could track down possible relatives. I made the mistake of looking some up, and now they want to connect with them. Now, I'm not gonna ask you to schlep anyone back and forth, but could you deliver these messages for us to connect our crew with their relatives?
Sure.
Oh, you're such a mensch! Thank you! let me get you the letter and the information you'll need to track down the relative.
I thought mensch wasn't a particularly kind word. Although I could be wrong.
We were so close to finding our new home.
We've got strict rules around here. But they're strict for a reason.
That planet was not right for us anyway. No doubt the next one will be.
Why do you need to find a new home instead of assimilating into modern society?
That's a good question. But I firmly believe that establishing our own home is what our ancestors would want for us. I think that we will assimilate to some degree, particularly when it comes to trade and exchange of ideas. However, we've fared by ourselves for so long, it would be unreasonable for our people to give up our own sovereignty in favor of a completely different society's rules and expectations. It may seem like it's about me maintaining control, but it's more about avoiding massive culture shock. We'll get there, but we'll need to ease into it so future generations can reap the benefits.
Then I would suggest that you go to the Freestar Collective and find a planet there. How's your crew holding up?
Understandably, some are disappointed that we gave up our home, but I think I've managed to convince them that this will be best in the long term. I have no doubt that even if it takes more time, we will manage to find something even better. And it's important to remember, we're still way ahead of our original schedule. Everything will be fine.
Where will you go?
Goodness, I'm not sure yet. We'll need to study our new star map. Then, well, I suppose we'll venture forth and try to find the perfect new home for us. It may take some time, but I'm confident we'll find something. And when we do, we'll find a shuttle to take us planetside. Thanks again for your help. We've roamed the stars for almost 200 years. What's a little longer?
Janet wants to leave. I've told her I'd talk to you about it.
I'm well aware of Janet's desire to leave. I'll tell you the same thing I told her. For the sake of our mission and community, we need to stay together. Each member of our community is valuable, especially Janet. If she left, we'd be at least a couple of weeks behind in food production while we trained someone to fill her role. But I suppose if you brought us more food staples to tide us over while that happens, we could do it. Say, a large quantity of potatoes?
I don't have 50 potatoes.
Yes. Losing her would mean one less person to help out, and we're strained as it is. We're all in this together. Have been since the very start. If she goes, then who else will want to go? We need to preserve our culture for the sake of our mission, and it's hard to do that if everyone leaves.
I'm gonna need to come back.
Very well. Return when you're ready.
Where the fuck am I gonna get 50 fucking potatoes?
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see.
Great. How many more days? Months? Years of being cooped
I know
up
I'm getting up there
find
in
a new
years,
place to live.
but I don't think I'll ever tire of flying. Get you around.
We've got strict rules around here.
Never thought I'd be so happy. Careful not to touch anything on your way out.
And to think all this time we thought you were alone.
Sure is nice to know.
Boy, am I glad you went so soon.
Nice. Clean sip there.
Don't you worry. Those walls are solid.
Welcome to the Hitching Post. You're welcome to just hang out. What do you have?
Don't know where the hell I'm gonna buy 50 fucking potatoes.
Trying to impress me? First of all, nice. Second of all, don't die.
Everyone needs supplies. Here, browse to your heart's content.
We had a potato. That's not quite the 50 I needed, but...
Be careful if you run into those cliffs.
Hello, Captain.
Let's go get me man's sauce.
Hey there.
Hello. Welcome to Chunks. If this is your first time dining with us at this location, you'll find our cuisine and service is a step above what you're used to. Please, don't hesitate to ask if there's anything I can do to make your Chunks experience as enjoyable as possible.
Is working here different than normal Chunks?
I used to work at a Chunks in Neon before my transfer was approved, and while I much prefer working here, I can say that it's not a lot different. It looks a lot nicer, the food is supposedly higher quality, and we treat the customers with greater care, but that's really about it.
So this is an upscale Chunks.
Yeah, I know. It seems ridiculous, especially since most of the food is the same old Chunks as anywhere else. But people here really seem to like it. Honestly, what else do you want me to say? This is my employer and they treat me well enough. So please, enjoy some gourmet Chunks.
I'm here to pick up some special sauce for the Chunks in New Homestead.
Huh. I thought it was a joke at first, but yet here you are. Let me get that for you. It's amazing how popular this stuff is on Titan. You'd think they just drank it over there.
Oh. Oh, I know what it is. It's Luther. Luther eats it all, doesn't he?
Worth that much.
Drive spinning back.
United colony in space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband. Great. Welcome to Titan. You're cleared to land at New Homestead.
Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You'll freeze solid without the proper protection. Hello.
Careful out there. Some wacko is running around in an obviously fake monster costume trying
Welcome
to
back.
scare people.
Is that special sauce I smell? Nah, I thought so. Hey, good to see you again. About that sauce.
Your wife owns the Brown Horse Tavern. How could you work for the competition?
Oh, it's all good. Chunks pays me pretty well. And between you and me, Anya's doing all right herself. Plus, we got this plan, you know? We want to see if we can introduce some of Anya's famous cooking to the Chunks lineup and pitch it to corporate. Imagine Anya's delicious food in every Chunks restaurant across the settled systems. And people are bound to come visit her place to see where it all started. It's a win all around.
I got that Chunk special sauce for you.
All right, lay it on me. Let's take a look. Man, you really saved my butt. Corporate's gonna see just how much this place is gonna turn around. Thanks again.
Welcome to Chunks. Please choose your chunks.
If you take one of those stupid tours, make sure to follow the rules. They're for your own safety and my sanity. I bought it from a private seller. I guess it was supposed to be, but I guess that went nowhere, so they... Stay safe.
The people here live a simple life. Try not to complicate it.
Why not order some food? Welcome to the Brown. Let me show you what we have. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.
I can't imagine living here.
Welcome to New Homestead.
Careful, there are some dangerous areas.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing.
Considering everything they're up against, Aquila City has done well for itself. It's got the necessities and it's safe. That's impressive.
Right, that's where I'm going to end the stream. Just over 2 hours. I'm going to go grab some food, chill out for a bit, and then be back on later. But I have work tomorrow, although I don't start until 2 o'clock. So, have a good morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are in the world, and I hope you tune in next time. Bye. Bye.